Let's get salty!
Everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video. And yesterday, we took a look at what the best of the best cards, at least in my opinion, will be from Whizbang's workshop. We went through every class and neutrals. And today, we take a look at the cards that I think suck and are terrible. And then, yeah, we'll be wrong about it and we can laugh at me later. And yeah, we'll take a look at all those cards. And if you want to enter our giveaway that we still have going on for 3 Whizbang's Workshop Tavern Passes, make sure to like and comment in the video, linked in the description below, the one with that thumbnail there. Be subscribed to the channel, and every 1,000 subs we get until Whizbang's Workshop comes out on the 19th, I will add another rewards track. So hit that sub button, make me go baroque. So starting off, Death Knight. What is the worst card in Death Knight? I'm not super sold on a hand buff. I think it could be okay-ish, not amazing. But to me, I don't know what Silk Stitching is doing. I don't know what you're doing with this card. 2-mana epic spell, choose a friendly minion, discover a spell that costs 4 or less to cast when it dies. It's just like the variance on it's really high. You need a minion on the board. It can target randomly. It's just, I don't see what you're doing with this card. Even like copying it with like Death Growl or whatever it's called. I don't think it's very good, and it's an epic to boot, so you know, that'll feel great to open as always. For Demon Hunter is looking pretty rough. They're not doing great right now. Spell DH is okay, but all that stuff's rotating. But what is the big focus? It's kind of like demons and value, which is not a Demon Hunter thing. So let's go with the Blind Box, the 2-mana spell. Get 2 random demons. It can be anything, or outcast, discover them instead. Value in Demon Hunter hasn't really been a thing. Random demons, I don't think is going to really be all that impactful. You don't have a great way of like discounting them or cheating them out of your hand or anything like that. They're just random demons, and I just don't know what Demon Hunter is really going to do with it. So as a result, it is my pick for the worst card. For Druid, it's all about the spell damage stuff and random legendaries. Oh, by the way, signature. We got to look at the signature. Random legendaries. But for me, it's a very, very easy pick of Jade Display. The throwback to the Jade cards. 1 mana, 1/1, Death Rattle. Your Jade displays have +1/+1 this game. Shuffle 2 of them into your deck. You have no other support for this card. It's literally this. You play this. They die, you try draw some more and play them. That's it. There's no other Jades to ramp up. It's just this card. They don't have Rush or Taunt. They don't do anything. We even have Floppy Hydra, which I would think would ramp up faster than this. And that's neutral. It's just terrible, but it is a cool throwback at least. And oh, by the way, it's another ad pick that's going to probably feel pretty bad to open. Unless I'm wrong. I just absolutely do not see it. For Hunter, I mentioned yesterday, they got a lot of really, really good cards, but we also got the Mystery Egg. A 5-mana, 0/3 miniaturized minion, Death Rattle. Get a copy of a random beast in your deck. It costs 5 less. And then you do get the mini, which is a 1/1, which does the same thing, but it's so slow. You gotta make sure you don't draw that beast. You do get a copy of it, so it's like more value for like your King Plushes of the world, which I do think is a good card. I just don't think this is the way to approach trying to get it and play it. I think it's pretty suicidal in 2024 Hearthstone to try and play a 5-mana 0/3 egg, which then you need to buff or play a Yodeler or something else to then get the value. Like, it's gonna just be so slow. I just can't see it. For Mage, we got no Minion Mage, some Elementals. Kagnar might actually be my pick based on my arena experience with him, my theory crafting experience with him, how disappointing he's been. But honestly, this card just feels so bad. Spot the difference. 4 mana. Discover a 3-cost minion to summon. If your deck has no minions, repeat this. 3-cost cards are so awful. At least the first few times I've tried this, I get nothing but like 3 3s and 2 5s and just trash. There's a couple of good ones like the Ogre Brute or whatever, the Ogre Gang card that has a 4/4 rush, but there's so many bad 3-drops that even if no Minion Mage is a thing, I don't know if they play this card. It's pretty hit and miss. From when I played it, it's just been miss. It's just, I don't know. I'm not totally sold on it, so it's going to be my pick. For Paladin, there's a lot of good cards and then quite a few stinkers. For me, it's got to be Wind Up Enforcer. I just don't know what deck is ever playing this. Like, yeah, you can hand buff it, I guess, and then trade it a few times and then get some value on some stats, but it doesn't have taunt, it doesn't have rush, light, it has nothing. It's just stats, and it takes a long time to get going when you can just do better things. I don't see this going into any Paladin archetype at all. And that's with me saying like Pipsy right here, Pipsy Painhoof. Well, I guess it's easier to see what it does. Death Rattle, summon a random Divine Shield, rush, and taunt minion from your deck. I can at least see that go into like big Paladin, right? It probably won't be that good, but you can play it. Whereas this card, I just don't know what you're doing with it. So it's going to be my pick for the worst Paladin card. For Priest, I guess you got to go Purifying Power, or more likely, the Chalk Artist, the 4-mana 4/3 epic card. Battlecry, draw minion, transform it to a random legendary one, keeping its original stats and cost. So it's a pure meme card. You gotta get lucky that the legendary you get, I guess you're going for like cheap stats and like a really good effect, you could just get something completely useless, right? Like there's so many bad hits that I don't think it's worth like trying to build your deck. And let's say I want to try to do a Rodden strategy and my Rodden brings back the legendary. What if my Chalk Artist hits Rodden, right? Like it just doesn't really work very well. It's a cool meme, but I don't think it's going to be a very good or competitive card. And again, it's an epic. For Rogue, it's funny. I underrated the Rogue quest like a lot of people back in the day. So I'm going to do it again for the Crystal Cove. I think this location's bad. 3 mana, 3 uses. The next minion you summon this turn has its stats set to a 4/4. Like you can get like the 4/4 pirate from your weapon and then it hits. I guess that's okay, but is that really worth a slot in your deck? I don't think so. Buffing a 1/1 token or just something with... I just don't see it. It seems really underwhelming, and the pirates and everything else for Rogue seems reasonable that it could see some play. I just don't see that card whatsoever. For Shaman, oh man, they got a lot of good cards, but one does stand out as the worst, and that is the incredible value. Trump would be very upset with me. Hearthstone Trump, all right? Hearthstone Trump. 3 mana shadow spell, discover a 4-cost minion, set its attack and health to 7. You're effectively paying 3 mana to like buff a 4-drop by a few stat points. Like, that's a lot. That's actually not even themed with the original 4 mana 7/7, which just overloaded for 2. Instead, you like preload for 3 and you don't know what you're gonna get. I don't think it's very good, and I do think it will be the worst Shaman card of the set. For Warlock, there's actually quite a few stinkers out there. I'm not sold on the demon package. Tabletop role player in particular, even if demons are somehow good, do I really care about buffing it by +2 attack and giving it immune? But even then, I still gotta give it to Curse Campaign. 3 mana shadow spell, give a friendly minion death rattle, summon 2 copies of this minion that are dormant for 2 turns. That is so slow and conditional that I gotta put it on another minion. I can't even put it on my opponent's minions. Not that you would ever want to, but I'm just saying. And yeah, it's just incredibly slow to get Carnivorous Cube effect, which was like almost instantaneous a lot of the times. It's just way too slow. I cannot imagine that to really see any realistic play. For Warrior, the worst card, I gotta say, I'm just annoyed with the Warrior cards like only trigger the death rattle of a random friendly mech or copy a friendly mech. Like they're so very linear in what it does, but I mean, come on, it's Lab Patron. This card, I gave it a 2, by the way. How did I give this a 2? 4 mana 3/3, the first time you gain armor each turn, summon another Lab Patron. So you can only get 1 Lab Patron the first turn you play it, and then you need like 2 to survive the next turn, gain armor, and then have it. Because it's the first time you gain armor that turn, not the first time while it's alive. So it's just unplayable. It's not even good stats. Like, what are you doing with this card? It's unbelievably bad. I think it's my pick for the worst card of the set. Like, I don't know what you're doing with it, but thankfully you can get the signature instead of the diamond that we normally could get. Isn't that a great consolation? Get one of the worst cards, if not the worst card of the set. And then looking at neutrals, there's actually quite a few mediocre neutrals out there, but I gotta give it to Cosplay Contestant. 3 mana 3/4. After your opponent plays a minion, transform into a 3/4 copy of it. We're doing a throwback to one of the worst, if not the worst legendary ever, Harbinger Celestia. And it's better than that, but being better than one of the worst cards of all time is not like, you know, something to really write home about. It's pretty darn awful. Your opponent's just gonna play whatever to this or just kill it. Like, it's just What are you doing with this? What deck wants this? It does, even like, again, a Priest Raden deck, it doesn't work. You didn't play the minion. It just transforms into it. Like, it's just unplayable garbage. So there we go. My picks for the worst cards from Whizbang's workshop. Let me know what you agree with, disagree with in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.